The main topics what we are going to discuss today is a brief history of Python, and then one important concept we are going to discuss is what are the features of Python, programming features. So this will discuss you what exactly, so why Python is important over other programming languages, over other programming languages. And also we are going to discuss some general features of Python, and we will discuss what kind of applications we can develop by using Python, applications of Python. And finally, I will discuss something about what you need to install in order to work with Python, softwares required to install. And also I will discuss some basic Python programming like script mode and interactive mode. So this is the agendas for today's session. So these are the things we are going to discuss in today's session. So first doubt you will get is, so whether I need to have some programming knowledge in order to learn Python. So the answer is absolutely no. So we are going to teach from scratch, like from how to write a Python program, how to run it, how to build it, and then we can start advanced programs like packages, functions, and modules. Everything we are going to discuss. So first, initially, we'll start at some few sessions. We'll start with basic Python programming, how to write a Python program, how to run it, where to run it. Means all those basics we are going to start, and then I will discuss some advanced concepts, and also we are going to discuss object-oriented programming. So that is the schedule of our course. And first, we'll start with the brief history. So brief history. Just I will discuss 1 or 2 minutes about why the name Python is given, when exactly this Python is invented, who invented this Python. So this Python actually it is introduced in 1989. The person name is Guido van Rossum in 1989 when he is working in research labs in Netherlands, National Research Lab in Netherlands. But actual introduction of Python in outside world it is happened in 1991 February 20. So in the outside market when it came outside world is 1991 February 20. And so outside we are listening Python means just you will see some symbols like snake means whether is it why the name Python is given. So actually it is not any snake or nothing. So why the Python name is given is, so during 1970s, so one popular comedy show happened in BBC channel. So BBC comedy show. So the show name is Monty Python's Flying Circus. Python's Flying Circus. So just this Guido van Rossum wants to give some popular name. During 1970s, this is one of the popular comedy show and it is broadcasted more than 5 years and it is one of the popular show. That's why he chosen this name as his programming language. Other than that, there is no specific reason why he given this name. So this is the basic reason. He wants to give some popular name at that time. This is the one of the comedy show which is happened in broadcasted for many years. He wants to give that name. So this is the brief history of Python. So major concept we are going to discuss today is programming features. Programming features. So one of the first doubt you will get is already there are a lot of programming languages like C, C++, Java, .NET, and many other programming languages are there. So if I learn Python, what kind of advantages I will get? So first thing you need to learn, so means what kind of advantages, what I can do with Python if I learn Python, what is my future, what is my career if I learn Python. So there are a lot of Python programming features, which is the basic reason why the outside world now, if you listen outside world, there are many applications which are developed by using Python. So since I'm working in Deloitte, and means I'm working in industry, I know why Python is important. And outside world, there are a lot of applications trending in today with Python programming language. So first thing is why I need to choose any sound issue. No, I think. Yeah. So first thing we need to know, so why I need to learn Python, what specialities Python will provide. So one of the important reason is programming features. So what kind of programming features it will provide? So it will provide functional programming features like C programming. It is providing functional programming features, functional programming features like C. So what is functional programming? I will explain if you are new to C programming. Just I will explain what is functional programming. Then later we will discuss at least one session on how to write a functions, what are the different functions that we will discuss in the later session. And next it will provide object-oriented programming features. Object-oriented programming features. In detail, I will explain what are these features like C++, and also it will provide scripting programming features, and also it will provide modular programming features. So we'll discuss one by one what is meaning of functional programming features, object oriented programming features. We'll discuss one by one. So first thing is functional programming features. Functional programming features. For example, so why we require functional programming features like C programming or any other functional programming is, so for example, you are designing some web application. In that web application, let us assume you are having 10 web pages, 10 or 20, or let us assume some 100 web pages or 20 web pages. Let us assume you are having 10 web pages. So in each web page, I need to perform some calculator operations. Calculator operations. So I'm interested to perform some calculator operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and so on. So let us assume your code contains around some 20 lines or 30 lines of code. To perform all these calculator operations, 30 lines of code. So totally how many web pages are there? 20 web pages. In each web page, I need to perform this calculator operation. And this calculator operation again contains 30 lines of code. So if I don't use this function oriented programming, if I wanted to write all these lines of code every web page, so 20 into 30, just approximately I'm giving some lines of code. So how many lines of code I need to write? 600 lines of code I need to write. If I don't use this function oriented programming, let us assume some 20 web pages, 30 lines of code for calculation. In each page I need to write. So totally how many lines of code I need to write? 600 lines of code. So what I am doing is unnecessarily I am writing the same code in multiple web pages. So in that case, what I can do is I can prepare some function. So function. So for calculation. So how to write function, no need to worry. I will take a separate session. How to write functions in Python if you are new to C programming or anything. So no need to worry. I can explain how to write functions that in a separate session. So a function is nothing but a piece of code or a block of code which is used to perform specific task. Perform specific task. So what I will do is whatever the calculation operation, whatever the 20 lines or 30 lines of code, I will prepare a block of code. So simply if I have 20 web pages or 100 web pages or 1000 web pages, web page one, let us assume. So how I can, once if you prepare a function, simply I can invoke that corresponding function wherever it is required. No need to repeat the same code multiple times. Just I can invoke that function wherever it is required, which will reduce the number of lines of code. Unnecessarily repeating the code we can reduce by preparing a function. So you can call in multiple web pages wherever you require. In all the web pages, you can call that function wherever it is required. So now you can understand the importance of functional programming. A functional programming is nothing but a block of code. So if you write a block of code, instead of repeating the same code multiple times, I can invoke that function wherever it is required. So currently no need to worry how to write a function. I will take a separate session on this. So this is function oriented programming. Our Python completely supports this function oriented programming. You are able to write any kind of function, whatever your requirement, you can able to prepare a function in Python. So that is first programming features of Python. Next, object oriented programming. Object oriented programming. So if you have some idea about C programming, so let us say C already there. So why someone introduced C++? So C++ is a object oriented programming. Object oriented programming. So why we require this object oriented programming? Just a minute. Yeah. So one of the object oriented programming. So there are why we require object-oriented programming. So just I will give a brief example, but with use cases, we will discuss programming concepts later. With sample examples, we will discuss later. So for example, in C programming, let us writing some banking application. So let us assume you are preparing some banking application. So if you means if you are using any banking credit card or banking online related things or account related things, means for example your account number equal to some 1234 and your online account password is something ABCD and so on. So let us assume you declared some variables which is having some sensitive information means which is very important information. So you are having some important information in these variables. So what happens in C programming is there is no security for these variables. Security in the sense anyone, if you know the variable name, I can able to access just by using that variable name. I can get to know what is the value stored. Means just if I print that variable, it will display what is the content in that variable. So if I print account number, if I know the variable name, then I can get to know what is the content in that variable. So the concept here is C programming, certainly it is not providing security related for the variables which are declared in the programming. The problem here is security related. Means if I store some sensitive information, there is no protection for that sensitive information. In that case, the object oriented programming came, and whatever the variables you are declaring. So there are two concepts in object oriented programming. Main concepts is class and object. So these are the major concepts in object-oriented programming. Based on this, we are having inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, and so on. So these are the major concepts in Python. So if I create object, means class for the required information, in this class you can declare variables, functions. Actually, instead of functions here, we are going to call it as methods. I will tell you why we are going to call methods later sessions. Means we can write variables, functions, methods, and required logic in a class. It is also like a block of code, but the important thing about class is if you declare anything inside the class, until unless if I create an object, until unless if I create an object, it is not possible to access the information of the class. It is not possible to access information of class. Information of class. But what is an object? Means if I am creating a bank class, I need to create an object for this class. Like this, how to create an object that we can see later. How to create an object that we can see later with syntax, how to create an object for a class. But until unless if I create an object, it is not possible to access the class information. And when you are able to create an object, means if you know the logic of class, if you know the logic of class, then only it is possible to create an object. Then only it is possible to create an object. Means it is interlinked. If I know the class directly, I can, means first I need to know the logic of the class, then only I'm able to create an object for the class. If I'm able to create an object, then only I'm able to access this class information. Until unless if I don't create an object, it is not possible to access the class information. So main thing why object oriented programming came into picture is to provide the security for your variables, functions. Even if you write a function or method within the class, it is not possible to access within the means whatever the functions methods declared within the class, it is not possible to access outside until unless if you create a object. So these concepts with programming examples we can see in the later sessions. So first we are discussing what are the features of the Python. So one is function oriented. So what is the use of function oriented we discussed, and object oriented means mainly providing security, and also there are a lot of features that we can discuss in the later sessions. And next third programming feature is scripting feature. Scripting feature. So next third important feature of programming is scripting feature. So there is a myth, maybe you listened something about Python. So actually myth about Python is it is a scripting programming, but it is not correct. It will support scripting programming, but it is not completely scripting programming like JavaScript or Node.js or React.js. It will support scripting programming, but it is not completely scripting programming. It can do entire development with Python. So what is scripting programming? Why we require scripting programming is, so every Python program Every Python program, we can call it as a script. We can call it as a script. So every Python program, we can call it as. So I will share this recording and whatever I am preparing. Maybe just listen the class, and if you have any doubts, you can ask. But I will share later this recording and everything. Yeah. So if you have any doubts at any point, you can message in chat. So every Python program, we can call it as a script. So usually Python program will be saved with .py. We will see later how to prepare a Python program. So every Python program. So let us say program1.py, program2.py. Every Python program, it is called as a script. So what is the advantage of script? So script is nothing but, for example, I written some logic like, so first Python program 1 contains some logic like authenticating the user. Authenticating the user function is there in this Python script. Function 1 is authenticating the user, like whether the user is authorized user to access my web application or not, and having some logic like calculator function or something in this Python script. This is function 2 and so on. So a Python script is nothing but which is a collection of functions, modules and so on, variables. A Python script, we can create variables and we can add classes, we can add functions and so on. So complete Python program may contain variables, classes and functions. What is the advantage of Python script is if you prepare one Python program, so nothing but this is one script, and so directly you can able to access this Python script in another Python program. So the advantage of this Python script is, for example, this logic authentication of user, calculator program, and whatever functions, variables you are going to declare, all these functions I wanted to access in other program. Means instead of rewriting the same Python code, I have written Python program 2. Let us say program2.py. This is another Python file. So I wanted to access this entire logic. Just you can import. There is one keyword called as import Python program. Let us say I will rename this as program1.py. So if I wanted to access this program1.py in program2.py, very simple. So just import Python program 1. So whatever the functions, let us say I wanted to access calculator function. So just program 1 dot calculator. Our authentication user is another function. I wanted to access that function. So I wanted to access that function also. So just that file name dot that function I can able to access. Very simple. If you create a Python script that can be accessible, just if you import that Python script, you can able to access wherever it is required. So wherever it is required, you can simply just import. There is one keyword called as import, and import that Python file. No .py is required because it can understand if you use import, nothing but it is expecting a Python file. So if you import that function means file, then you can simply able to access all the information in that Python file. So that's why no once if you write a Python program, you can able to access wherever it is required by using import keyword. So simple concept is write once, reuse wherever it is required. If you write a Python script, write once, reuse wherever it is required. So if you write one Python program, you can reuse wherever it is required. So this is about scripting programming. and we can discuss a lot of examples and scripts in the later sessions. And last, one of the most important concept of this Python is modular programming. Modular programming. This is one of the most important feature why everyone going with Python. I will explain why modular programming and why how it will reduce our developer stress by using modular programming. So there are different types of modular programming in Python. So first of all, I will explain what is modular programming. So let us assume you are developing some banking application. So we'll design this use case later, banking application. Let us assume you are developing some banking application. In this banking application, there will be some different kinds of loans like personal loan, vehicle loan, home loan, and so on. Home loan and so on. So like this, there are a lot of applications again in the banking application. Again, for personal loan, let's assume. Oh, just a minute. Yeah. So let us developing some banking application where a lot of other applications inside. Let us assume again this is having some 10 functions and vehicle loan having lot of code and so on. Home loan is having lot of code and so on. So for example, if single developer has to develop this application, let us assume it is taking some 6 months to 1 year. 1 year. So if a single developer has to develop this application, let us assume it is taking 6 months to 1 year. But the company will expect as soon as possible they wanted to release their product outside. So company will not wait until 1 year because other competitors may they will compete and they will finish their application fast and they will deploy their application. Means in that case the company will not wait more time to finish the entire application. So what our Python will support is the modular programming. Modular programming. So what is modular programming means I will divide this program into sub modules like personal loan is one module and vehicle loan is another module 2 and home loan is module 3 and so on. So we can define sub modules and individual programmers. What I can assign is I will assign this for one programmer and I can assign this is another two programmers. Means who can independently work on these modules and who can finish their development, and then we can merge these modules into final packages. Means there is a concept called as modules and packages. So what is the concept of this modular programming is whatever the complex task. So this is my complex task, banking application. What I can do is I can divide it into sub modules like personal loan, vehicle loan, and required sub modules. And I will assign the individual programmers or multiple programmers on this. So what I can do is I can assign it for the individual programmers who can work independently. And based on my requirement, if I want to combine these two modules, I can combine and make it as a package. Or if I wanted to combine these two into another package, I can combine. Based on my requirement, I can able to combine. Means there is no dependency required on different modules. Who are able to work independently, they can work and they can finish their work and we can easily deploy our product as early as possible. This is one of the important reason why Python is used for development of nowadays application. And one more important thing why we are going for this modular programming is we are having the concept called as packages. So there are some predefined packages and custom packages. We are going to define custom packages also. predefined packages, predefined custom packages. I will show you how to prepare custom packages with use cases in next sessions. But there are a lot of predefined packages in Python like pandas, numpy, math package, scikit-learn, tensorflow. There are a lot of packages. Scikit-learn, Flask, Django, and so on. So what is the advantage of these packages is, so for example, just you are trying to develop some application, let us say machine learning application. So maybe if time permits, I will explain machine learning at the end. Means you are designing some prediction system. What is machine learning? We'll discuss later. So let us say some prediction system. I wanted to design something. Nowadays we are listening something. Means last 2 years or 3 years we listened something about COVID-19, right? For example, I wanted to predict uh, next person whether he will get COVID-19 or not. Means I wanted to detect in future whether the person will get or how many persons will get the COVID-19. Means I need to do some prediction system. If I wanted to, if I use another programming languages like Java, .NET, in order to design this kind of machine learning system, let us assume you may require 100 lines of code or 200 lines of code. But if you use Python, there is predefined packages like scikit-learn, TensorFlow, which is already having predefined functionality. So for example, a lot of machine learning algorithms like decision tree, random forest, and so on, which is already predefined packages and functions already developed in Python. Just I need to import that package, import scikit-learn. If we import that package, which will provide already predefined code, by using that package, I can write the entire code, whatever we are writing 100 lines or 200 lines in other programming, I can implement within 10 lines or 20 lines of code. Means due to these packages, I can reduce number of lines of code in Python. Means already some predefined packages are there like pandas, math, scikit-learn, numpy, means lot of packages are there. And by using these packages, we can reduce number of lines of code. And even if you wanted to prepare your own package for your requirement, you can prepare your own package. How to prepare custom packages, we will see with one use case. Custom packages means in addition to predefined packages, if you wanted to prepare some custom package also, you can prepare and you can work on the custom packages. So the main intention of these packages is we can reduce number of lines of code. So these are the very, very important advantages of Python. Why I need to choose Python as a programming language. So one is function oriented, object oriented, scripting, and modular programming. So we'll discuss with a lot of use cases one by one on these features because each feature will take at least 2 sessions, means at least 1 or 2 hours I need to spend to discuss function oriented programming, object oriented programming, minimum 3 to 4 hours required, and modular programming I required at least 2 to 3 hours to discuss all those with use cases. That we'll discuss in the next sessions. So these are the some important features of the Python programming. So due to this nowadays means if you learn means it is very easy to learn. If you concentrate at least basic foundations of Python, it is very easy to learn Python programming. Once if you learn, you can feel it is very simple when compared with other programming languages. And so this is the basic. If you wanted to start learning machine learning or data science or artificial intelligence, means if you wanted to implement any kind of uh, artificial intelligence applications or data science applications, artificial intelligence applications, data science applications, or machine learning applications. So if you wanted to implement any of these applications, at least one programming language is required. Preferred programming language is Python. So the first step you can keep to learn in order to learn artificial intelligence. Even nowadays, maybe you are listening Gen AI. If you wanted to learn Gen AI also, the basic foundation you need to learn some programming language. So preferred programming language is Python. So why we are preferring means one of the main reason is packages. So it is having already predefined packages. So next we'll discuss some simple example. So let us, so in order to work with this Python, so next question is where I'm going to write these Python programs. So what editors I need to install in order to work with Python. So maybe for next session, you can install these so that whenever I'm typing some program, you can also work along with me. Whenever I'm explaining some Python programs, you can parallelly work with, you can execute those programs in your system. So for next session, for your task is just install these. Very simple, just it will take 5 minutes or 10 minutes to install the required editors. So you can work with any editors which will support Python. So one is ideally integrated development language environment or Jupyter Notebook or PyCharm. Means you can install any, not required to install all. Yeah, so you can install any of these editors. I will let you know what to install and which is one of the major editor used outside world that I will discuss. PyCharm or even Visual Studio Code or so there are a lot of editors are there. So first I will show you how to install ideally where you can get this ideally. So this is official Python editor ideally. So where I can get is there is one official site called as python.org. So for any updates, what are the versions of the Python? So if you wanted to get some documentation about Python, this is the official website to get to know about Python. So just open any browser and if you type python.org, so this is the official website where you can get the documentation, some sample examples and downloads. If you see the latest update, means what is the latest version of Python, entire information you can get to know here. And you can see the latest version is 3.12. So before downloading, just I will explain what are the different versions of the Python which you need to learn. So Python 1, Python 2, Python 3. So these are the versions of Python, Python 3. So Python 1 is completely outdated. No one are using now. Outdated means this Python community, they won't update anything. Whatever the Python 1 is there, so that will be final. And it is completely outdated. No support is provided for Python 1. And so no one are using now Python 1 version. So no need to learn Python 1. And Python 2, so Python community stop means now also some applications are there with Python 2, but Python community even they stopped support for Python 2. Means there is no future enhancements in Python 2. Whatever the version is there, they will stop enhancing Python 2. So which version you can learn is in our course also we are going to discuss about Python 3 only. So now everyone looking into Python 3 and so no need to worry. I showed right 3.12 whether I need to learn 12 versions, nothing, no need to worry. Just Python 3 is the major version. Inside a very small enhancement or some simple features they are introducing in the other versions. We will discuss wherever it is required. We are going to discuss what are the features differences between Python 2 and Python 3. But major version which you need to start learning is Python 3 only. So no need to go with Python 1 or Python 2. Nowadays, everyone started working on Python 3 only. So no need to worry. There are 12 versions. No need to worry because major version is Python 3. Sub versions, they are just enhancing sub versions. Maybe they are adding some keywords or removing some keywords, just doing some bug fixes in those versions. So majorly, you need to start learning in Python 12. Python 3.12. Means this is the latest version, and we are as part of this session also we are going to discuss Python 3 only, and wherever it is required I will show the differences between Python 2 and Python 3. Now we will start downloading. So go to this python.org and you can find download. Just click on downloads. My suggestion is don't download latest version instead of this latest version, because still it is in progress, right? They are enhancing that version. Instead of that, there are some standard versions like you can download Python 3.7, 3.9 or 3.8 or 3.9. So anything is fine until 3.11. You can download any version except the latest version, because why I'm not suggesting is still there will be some enhancements or some bug fixes in the latest version. Instead of this, these are some already standard versions 3.7 or 3.8 or 3.11. So just to go to this downloads and you can see, if you just come here, so scroll down, you can find all the versions 3.11.7, 3.7. So whatever the version you wanted to download, so don't download Python 2. As I told, no one means in the future there will be no support for Python 2. So just download Python 3 version. You can download from 3.7 to 3.11, anything, whatever you want. Just click on that version and you can find based on your operating system, Mac or Windows. So just select your operating system and whether it is 64-bit or 32-bit. So based on that, you can download, for example, Windows 64-bit executable installer. So I will suggest you can go with 3.7 or 3.8. Don't go with the latest version 3.12. So why I'm not suggesting is still that is in progress. So once if you download, you can get executable installer. So just it will take few minutes. Click on that installer. So you will get something like this. So you will get run option. So once if you get, so very few minutes it will take to execute this. If you see here, don't click directly install now. There is one option you are seeing, right? Add Python 3.7 to your path. After checking this checkbox and then click on install now. If you don't check this checkbox, again you need to manually set environment variables and you need to go to the environment variables and you need to set the Python path. So that's why instead of doing all those manual steps, before clicking on install now, just click on this add Python 3.7 or 3.8, whatever you are downloaded. Just to check this checkbox and then click on install now. And it will take few minutes, next, and you can finish your installation. So it will take few minutes to install this Python in your system. Once if you install, so you will get one editor called as ideally. So this editor you are going to get. This is Python official editor, integrated development language environment, IDLE editor. So once if you install this Python, few minutes it will take. Just you need to click next. Only one thing you need to remember is you need to check this checkbox before installing. So in my system, it is already installed, right? There, just I'm closing this. Maybe you can download it and you can install this Python. So this is ideally how to write a program here. I will let you know. Before that, I will show how to check the Python version which is installed in your system. If it is successfully installed means just open command prompt. So Python, so there is one command called as Python space hyphen v. So whatever the version installed in your system, it will display this. Means if it is properly installed means you are able to see the Python version. If it is not installed means there will be something wrong in your installation. If anyone face any issues during installation, just message me personally. I can resolve your issue while installation. If you face any issue, very simple step. Just you need to go to python.org and download your required version, and based on your operating system download required version and just click before clicking install now, check that checkbox and click next. It will install Python in your system. And open command prompt, type Python minus v, or directly you can type Python hyphen version. Like this also you can type. So anything, any one command you can use to check Python version installed in your system. So this is editor which is officially from Python, but most of the data scientists or machine learning developer, they will use Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook. So I will show you how the Jupyter Notebook will looks like, where to write the program in Jupyter Notebook. That we will discuss. First, I will tell you where to get this Jupyter Notebook. There are two ways to install Jupyter Notebook. One is through Anaconda. Another way is through command prompt. Through command prompt. Through command prompt. So there are two ways to install this Jupyter Notebook. One is through Anaconda and through command prompt. So in order to install this Jupyter Notebook, so same thing. If you want to install through Anaconda, so just open your browser. You can type Anaconda download. So free download will be there. And so just click on download. So if you click on download, there will be different options like based on your operating system, it will show Linux or so thanks for downloading. It is directly. So you can click on download. So you will get Jupyter Notebook. This is one option. Means once if you download that executable installer, again you need to click, means you need to click on that executable installer. So you will get some executable installer here. So still it is downloading. So once if you get like previously for Python we got executable installer, right? You will get installer, just click on next, and it will install Jupyter Anaconda. So not Jupyter Notebook, Anaconda. So if you install Anaconda, so you will get something like Anaconda Navigator. So you are able to see Anaconda Navigator. If you install Anaconda in your system, you will get this Anaconda Navigator. So I will tell you what is the difference between command prompt and through Anaconda, what difference you will get. So if you install Anaconda, so there will be one thing, we are going to get some extra other editors. So if you install Anaconda, you will get some other editors in addition to Jupyter Notebook. In addition to Jupyter Notebook, you will get some Jupyter Lab. This Jupyter Notebook. In addition to this, you will get Jupyter Lab and so on. So there are a lot of other editors you are going to get if you install Anaconda. So, but if you wanted to install only a Jupyter Notebook, I will tell you how to install it. So it is downloading, but if you download, just open that executable installer and you can able to install it. So the problem here is if you download Anaconda, it will get some other editors. Still it is opening to show those editors. So meanwhile, I will discuss what is command prompt, how to install through command prompt this Jupyter notebook is. So once if you install Python in your system, so whatever do through python.org you downloaded that Python software. So then Python will be installed in your system. Once if you install Python in your system, there is one command you will get, that is pip command. So once if you install Python, you will get one command called as pip. So through pip command, you can able to install all the Python packages. So once if you get pip command in the command prompt, then you are able to install all Python packages. So whatever just now I told pandas and so on, right? Just pip install pandas, pip install scikit-learn. Means once if you get pip command, so pip install numpy, pip install flask and so on. So by using pip command, you are able to install the required Python packages. So in order to install Jupyter Notebook, what I need to install here is pip install notebook, pip install notebook. So this pip is small letter only. So because Python is completely case sensitive, so one point you need to remember is Python is case sensitive. Case sensitive means capital letters, small letters are different. Even so, this will give error is command not found if you give some capital letter, small letter. So it is completely case sensitive. So in order to install notebook, what you need to do is pip install notebook. So open command prompt. I hope it's open, right? Okay. Okay. So still it is not open. It is opening that command prompt. If you see Anaconda Navigator, so there are a lot of other editors. Actually, we require Jupyter Notebook only, but it is giving Jupyter Lab, a Spider, Visual Studio Code. There are a lot of other editors you are getting. If you don't want all these editors, just use this pip command in the command prompt. So pip install notebook, pip install notebook. So very simple. But in order to install pip install notebook, you should have Python in your system. So one condition here is to install this Jupyter notebook, you need to have Python if you wanted to install through command prompt. So just click enter. So in my system, it is already installed, right? It will give requirement already satisfied. Just wait few seconds. It will finish the installation. So you need to use this command pip install. So okay, I think new version it is installing. Otherwise already. So if you see requirement already satisfied. So if something is there, it will show requirement already satisfied. If anything newly it is installing means some new versions are there. That's why it is installing. So then it will install the required packages in your system. So very simple command pip install notebook. Once installation will finish, it will show the prompt again. So very simple installation. So pip install notebook. So in order to install this, you should have Python in your system. So there is one more editor called as PyCharm. Basically, what are the editors they will use means either IDLE or Jupyter Notebook. These are mostly used. Jupyter Notebook. And one more editor that is also most of the people they will use is PyCharm. So whenever I will get some time, I will show how to install PyCharm and what advantages we'll get with PyCharm. So currently I will show Jupyter Notebook interface. So how it will looks like. So if you use Anaconda, you will get lot of editors. So preferred way is just install through command prompt. So still it is installing a lot of things. Just wait few seconds. It is installing, right? So after that, I will show you how to open Jupyter Notebook. Then we can write some simple Python program in Jupyter Notebook. So still is installing. So I think some versions are changed. That's why it is installing all those versions. Otherwise, in my system already Jupyter Notebook is there. So Jupyter Notebook interface, something it looks like this. So how to open Jupyter Notebook from our command prompt is, once if the installation finishes, I will show you how to open this interface. So Jupyter Notebook interface looks like this. So here we are going to call, these are the cells, and where we are going to write the Python programs. So if you want a new cell, you need to click on plus. If you wanted to delete any cell, you can use this scissor to cut this cell. So if you wanted to add any new cells, click on this plus symbol. If you wanted to delete any cell, you can click on this symbol to delete that cell. And here these are called as cells where we are going to write Python programs. So we are going to write Python programs. And so here I'm writing something with hash symbol, right? What this indicates is these are the comments. So if I write some statement preceded with hash symbol in Python, these are called as comments. So why comments are important for any programming? Yes, how to open? Still it is installing. I will show you. So either if Anaconda is already open, so through Anaconda means directly if you click on launch, it will open Jupyter Notebook. But I will try. So in the command prompt, it is still running, right? Or so what I will do, I will open a new command prompt in my system already is there, right? So I will open the command prompt. So just open your command prompt, and what I will suggest is just whatever the programs you are going to practice, you can prepare a specific folder. Like for example, what I have created one folder like NIT Silchar Python batch. You can type command prompt in your folder so that all the programs will be at one place, or you can open directly through the command prompt. Also you can open. So what I will do means directly I will open the command prompt from this folder so that my programs will be, all programs will be saved in this folder. And how to open this Jupyter Notebook is Jupyter space notebook. From the command prompt, if I wanted to open Jupyter Notebook, the command here is Jupyter space notebook from the command prompt. So once click on enter, it will open Jupyter Notebook. So someone is pinging some error getting, right? That we can see later. So what you need to type from the command prompt is, so in the command prompt, just type Jupyter space notebook. So from the command prompt, Jupyter space notebook. Then it will open something like this. So you are able to see, right? It will open something like this. If you wanted to create a new notebook, here you are finding one option, new option. So since I installed Python 3, right? It is showing Python 3. So if you install Python 2, it will show Python 2. If you install Python 3, it will show Python 3 kernel. So click on this kernel. It will open the cells where you can able to write the program. So first open the install Jupyter Notebook through the command prompt. So pip install notebook, which will install Jupyter Notebook in your system. And then so open Jupyter Notebook through the command prompt by using Jupyter Space Notebook. And it will open the interface like this. And you can find new option here if you wanted to create a new notebook, or if you wanted to open already existing notebook, you can open this notebook, or if you wanted to create a new notebook, you can create by clicking on your Python version. It will create a notebook like this where you can able to write the Python programs. And so this is how to open the Python program. So before that, just I'm explaining about these commands, right? Means what we'll do is now we have some more time, right? We'll discuss some simple Python program, and also I will explain why we need to write comments in any programming, not only in Python programming. If you are working in Java, .NET, means for any programming, comments are very important. So I will tell you why we need to write comments, how to write some simple Python program, how to run it. So first I will give the brief description about comments. So comments are non-executable statements. Non-executable statements. So non-executable statements means whatever I am going to write those comments, those are just only for reading purpose. Those will not be executable. How to write the comments in Python is hash followed by whatever the comment you wanted to write. You are going to write those comments. So what is the advantage of these comments? For example, you prepared lot of lines of code. Let us assume some 100 lines of code or 1,000 lines of code, and first 10 lines of code it is performing some addition operation, and next 10 lines of code it is performing authentication, and next 10 lines of code you are inserting some data to the database, and so on. Like this you return the code, but you didn't return any comment, just you return line 1, line 2, line 3, line 100, line 1000, and so on. Means you didn't mention any comments or nothing. So for example, you are on leave for next 1 week or 10 days. You developed some program, you are going on leave for vacation for 1 week or 10 days or 15 days. So some other programmer has to understand your program. So what it will do means if you don't mention any comments, what the functionality of that code, it will take lot of time for that programmer to understand what is that code is doing. So simply I have written some 100 lines of code. So without mentioning anything. So line 10, 20, 30, 100, lot of code I have written, but nothing I mentioned. So in order to understand, for new member came and they wanted to understand what the code is doing means it will take lot of time. Instead of that, for example, from line 12 to 13, this is addition program which required two numbers. Means if I comment something, then it is easy to understand that program. Means if new person is there, if some person is absent, is not there, then other person has to understand your code. Then if you write some comments, other person can simply able to understand your code. And for example, line 20 to 30, I'm inserting, I'm updating the record in the database. Updating record in the database means by by seeing this code, I can understand these lines of code is used for updating the record, or these lines of code for authenticating the user. So like this, we can easily understand by seeing these comments. But if I write anything in the comments, these are non-executable statements. Just for reading purpose, these are not for executable purpose. Now, so before showing some simple programming, as I told, so I'm going to discuss types of programming in Python. So types of programming. So after this, I will show some simple programming, then we can stop today's session. And maybe one more session also, we are going to discuss some theoretical concepts, because at least foundations we need to understand before starting the programming. And later we'll start for each concept, we are going to discuss with use case. Types of programming. So there are two types of programming, that is interactive mode and script mode. Script mode, interactive mode and script mode. Interactive mode and script mode. So what is interactive mode and what is script mode is, so when we are going to use interactive mode, when we are going to use script mode, means at what case I need to use this interactive mode or script mode. So that we will see with an example. So interactive mode means the execution will be step by step, line, or simply I can say line by line. Interactive mode. So this is something like line by line by line execution. So what is the advantage of here is, so if I write something, if I wanted to see immediately whether it is correct or not, means immediate result, if I wanted to see for each line whether it is correct or not, in that case, it will be easy. That means we can write the code in interactive mode. I will show with an example. So this is line by line execution. For each step, it will execute and it will provide the result. So immediate result or immediate output can be seen in interactive mode. I will show with an example. And there is one more method is script mode. Script mode. In the script mode, so what I need to do is I need to write the entire programming, whatever the lines of code I wanted to write. For example, I need to write some 5 lines of code or 10 lines of code. I want to write that entire programming. And after writing, so you need to save with a .py extension. That file name is .py extension. Then you are able to run that Python programming. So what is the advantage? I told the advantage of this is line by line execution. And what is the advantage of script mode? I will explain after executing this interactive mode and script mode. So already I opened ideally, right? So through ideally, I'm going to show this. Through Jupyter Notebook, we'll see later that interactive mode and script mode. Whether Jupyter Notebook will support script mode or interactive mode, that we'll see. But just these two modes I can able to explain through this ideally. See here. So let us say to print anything in Python, we are having one function called as print. So print. So by using print function, I can able to print something. If I wanted to print anything, then I need to use print function. So let us say I wanted to print something. Anil is goodbye. So I wanted to print this statement. So what is interactive mode is, I told it is line by line execution, right? So print Anil is goodbye. So you can see after executing that line, it will provide the output. So I wanted to write one more line. Print Girish excellent at having excellent programming skills. Let us writing something programming skills. So if I write something and just press enter, then it is giving the output. If I write something wrong here, as I told, it is case sensitive, right? The print function is, it is small letter. Just what I'm doing is capital letter print, and hi, I'm writing. You can see trace back name. Print is not defined because, as I told, Python is completely case sensitive. If you write something capital letter, small letter, so we need to follow the same syntaxes. We'll discuss what are the different predefined functions. Just remember, Python is case sensitive. it is small letter print, but I am using capital letter P. So it is giving some error. Means if I write some error also immediately after entering that line, I'm getting the error message also. So this is for only, so this interactive mode, it is useful for development mode only. So usefulness. So for example, when we can use this interactive mode is, it is useful when you are developing something, when developing your program, when developing program. And for example, I wanted to deploy this program. Let us say you design something, Facebook application. Facebook application. Let us say I return interactive program line by line. You return some thousand lines of code. So for example, uh, Karthik is came and he wanted to access my Facebook application. So first it is asking to execute first line, second line, third line. Means it is taking almost 1 hour, 2 hours for just login. So then how the customer will feel? Means for development purpose, if I wanted to see the errors immediately, then I can use interactive mode. So that is fine during development mode. But if I wanted to deploy that application in the server, if I go with interactive application, customer will not use that kind of application because they have every line it is executing. For example, Facebook login itself, if I log in today and tomorrow it is opening, then no use of that application, right? Means during deployment, we will go with only script mode. During deployment, so what kind of application we require? This script mode. During deployment, deployment is nothing but this is one of the term usually whenever you are going to develop some application. Means if you start working in industry, you will get these kind of terms like deployment environment, testing environment. Means you are going to listen this kind of words. Deployment is nothing but, for example, we are using Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, or these kind of applications, right? Means they placed in some server. We are placing that programs in the server, right? That concept we are going to call it as a deployment. And so during deployment, we required only script mode, means complete application to be developed, and we need to save those scripts with the .py, and we are going to use those scripts to deploy in the final environment. So in the servers, we are going to deploy .py files, not this interactive mode program. Interactive mode, it is useful to know the errors immediately. But if I wanted to deploy the program, then I need to use this script mode. So in order to write this script mode, as I told, I can use IDLE. So I will show how to write through IDLE, how to write this Python script, and even simple notebook or notepad or notepad plus plus also enough. Even without using this Jupyter notebook, PyCharm also, even you can write the program in notepad or notepad plus plus. But what is the disadvantage here is it will not provide any intelligence. Intelligence. What is intelligence means that we'll see when I work with those editors, right? Means if I wanted to type everything in a notepad, if I wanted to take care those syntaxes, I need to take care all those syntaxes if I use notepad or notepad plus plus. But if I use some predefined editors like ideally PyCharm or Jupyter notebook, they will take care of programming syntaxes. Means if I wanted to give some space or some syntax errors, those kind of syntaxes though will be taken care if I use predefined editors like ideally or PyCharm or Jupyter notebook. Even you can use notepad or notepad plus plus, but every syntax you need to take care. Just I will write some simple Python program. So how to write the Python program is, once if you open this ideally, so here you are able to see, right, file option. In the file option, you can see new file. In the file option, you can see new file. So just whatever the concepts you wanted to write, so how many files you wanted to write, means whatever the program logic you wanted to write, you can write the entire logic here. So print, so let us say hello, welcome to Python. So just today I am showing some print statements, but we can write actual logic like declaring variables, declaring functions, modules, packages. A required logic we can write later. So Jahangir, right? Jahangir, and he is excellent in cricket or something I'm writing. Excellent in games. So just whatever the logic you wanted to write, just write the complete logic. No need to give space. Maybe you can confuse. I'm giving some spaces, right? No need to give any spaces. You can write continuously whatever the code you wanted to write. So you can write the entire logic here. So Karthik is awesome and something, whatever the sentence you wanted to write all the required logic here. So something Sudeshna, whatever the logic. So write the entire logic here. And what I told is you need to save this file as a .py. So save and wherever you wanted to save this file. So for example, I created the folder, right? NIT Silchar Python batch. I am saving this file name is program1.py. Program1.py. So just save that file and so maybe if you wanted to close this file, close this, and if you go and check your folder, so you can see program1.py. If you wanted to see the properties, it is a .py extension. So .py extension, nothing but it is a Python script. Once if you write the Python script, open the command prompt and see how to run the Python program is Python space that file name program1.py. So how to run this Python file is, so open the command prompt in that folder. So wherever you saved your file and then type Python space that file name. So file name.py. So once if you execute this, so you can see hello, welcome to Python, Jahangir, Karthik, Sudeshna, and so on. Whatever I written in this file, right? That logic I'm able to run. So this is script mode. So what is script mode means? You can write the entire logic. So here, so don't think a Python program is always print a statement. We can write the required Python code just for practice first today's session, right? Just I written some Python print statements. You can write actual logic here, classes, functions, modules, packages, and so on. Later in the later sessions, we'll discuss with some use cases and write your entire logic here and save the file with .py and go to the command prompt where you saved your file and write, so run Python space that file name.py. So as I told this script mode, which is useful whenever you are deploying, means compulsory need to, whenever you are deploying your program, you should deploy this program as a .py files. So this is script mode. So whenever you are developing something, if you wanted to see immediate output by line, then you can go with interactive mode. But usually we are going to write Python scripts, and so that Python scripts only we are going to deploy during deployment phase. Actually, there are different phases whenever you will start deploying applications, whenever you will start working in industry. There are different phases like requirements phase, requirements phase, build phase, deployment phase, and test phase. So deployment will be after test. So requirements means whatever application requirements means what I need to develop, what the software is required, what programming language is required. So those clients will provide all those requirements, and then we can start building the required applications. And test phase, we are going to test the applications, whatever we are going to develop, we are going to test those applications. And finally, we are going to deploy where the user can use our application, like Facebook or WhatsApp we are using, right? That will be after deploying our applications in the server. So this is the basic syntax how to create. So for next session, at least I'm expecting from all of you to start installing, and whoever getting errors, I will check with them. And so start installing at least Jupyter Notebook. First, you need to install Python and then install Notebook. So usually we are going to use our sessions mostly Jupyter Notebook. And if required, I will show the PyCharm also. And I will discuss what is the advantages of PyCharm. And still, in order to discuss these Jupyter Notebook advantages, I need to explain some use cases so that you can get to understand what is this Jupyter Notebook. Jupyter Notebook also same thing. Whatever I need to write in the cell, you can write the code. And so like this, just write your code in the cells and press Shift Enter. It will execute. One thing is you can press Shift Enter, or you can have this option, right? Run option. You can run. And so something I'm writing same. You can write multiple statements also here, like welcome to Python print. So you can write multiple logic. And as I told, either you can press Shift Enter, or you are having one option called as run option. So you can see you can write multiple statements. If you wanted to write a single statement, you can write. And if you wanted to give the heading, for example, this logic is for addition of two numbers. I can provide the heading. There is an option called as heading option, right? And this heading option you can use. Click on OK. If you want a large font heading, you can use one hash. If you want small font heading, then you can use three hashes. So let us say this is addition program. Means I wanted to give the heading of this next to few cells as addition program. Then I can write. So let us say A equal to 10, B equal to 20, C equal to A plus B, print C. So this is a addition program. Means if I wanted to give some heading, I can give the heading by using this option. And so what is the advantage of this Jupyter Notebook is, one advantage is directly you can write the program and you can see the output here itself. No need to go to the command prompt. For example, if I write the program here in the script mode, what I need to do is I need to type here and then go to the command prompt, and then I need to execute. But in the Jupyter Notebook, you can write the entire Python program and just you can click on run or shift enter. It will execute in the same interface only. No need to go to the command prompt and run. I can run here itself. Like this, we are having a lot of other advantages also. If you use Jupyter Notebook, that once if I start executing some use cases, then we can understand. And these are the basics of Python program, what to install and what to where to write Python program, how to run the Python program. And today I will stop the session